Fucking A, man. Venting my friend Jim fan. I don't know if you all could hear that or if it played only through Snapchat. Either way, don't care. Nothing fucking really matters at this point to me. At the moment, I am frankly just wanting to die. That's nice. Next. Fucking name. So, yep. I forget how much I hate being alive some days, and then other days just fucking catches up to you all at once. Just a big old slap across the face in a moment. You're like, oh shit, that's my future variations, all suffering for no fucking reason because why? Because why? Because why? Because I'm gonna do something with my fucking life, huh? Nope, I'm probably not. I'm probably just gonna die a failure. But you know, it is what it is. How's it going? Welcome to the Sad Boy Hour Club. Just yeah, just try not to break down. Yeah, welcome to the Sad Boy Club. Fucking indeed. I give up. I may be loved, but I don't give a fuck shit what people think about me. Frankly, the whole world could hate me, the whole world could love me. I don't give a damn at this point. I just want this fucking pain and I just want there to be no more variations of brand, no more future variations, no more suffering. For Christ. hope the fucking solipsists are goddamn right, and I'm the generator of all the fucking world. And when I die, everything just goes boop, goodbye. Probably not. So that's the only reason I'm fucking still here. Pain. Tastes like fucking burning Gatorade. I got them men. Pain. Come on. E. I just feel pain and empty. I fucking hate that. Christ. Howdy, howdy. No one's watching me, I'm pretty sure. Is someone watching me? It's just a glitch. No one's actually watching me. No one's actually watching. Maybe someone is watching. Hey there, I found your channel after someone shared your video, was shared of you crushing some bugs. Wanted to say that was hot. Hey, thanks, I guess. I mean, I'm not exactly looking for attention in terms of my hotness or my ability to crush bugs, but thank you nonetheless. I'm more a philosophy dude. I'm trying to convince people that it's wrong to procreate, but thank you, Grand Tire. I appreciate nonetheless. You know, I'm not sure if you mean hot as in I'm hot or hot as in like that's hot, like yeah, like the Owen. Forget his name. I'm drunk right now, so I'm not sober. No, I'm not. No siree. So moral of the story is appreciate what you say regardless of his meaning. Owen Smith. That's his name. Apologies, I didn't want to make it weird. No problem, my dude. I didn't consider it weird. I'm bisexual, so nothing is weird for me when it comes to that type of men or women flirting with me. I don't know what gender you are or sex, so when it comes down to it, I could care less if someone's flirting with me or if they're talking about like, yeah, that's hot, like Owen Wilson. Either way, it's just like, both. I like it when hot guys crush bugs. Hee hee. Hey, amen. Thank you. I appreciate being called hot, but when it comes down to it, I'm more interested in spreading the philosophy of ephilism. I'm male. Understandable. Welcome to the male club. It sucks. Life's shit. I mean, it's shit regardless of your gender, but I can't imagine it's exceptionally well as males given the day and age. But it really has nothing to do with gender. Honestly, I'm just being depressed, so I'm being like spastic and dumb. When it comes down to it, no, regardless of gender, life fucking sucks. Life is horrible, my dudes. Life it blows. I'm just being biased because I'm a male, so I'm just assuming that woe is me. But when it comes down to it, life is fucking shitty. Oh yeah. My channel is about ephilism and antinatalism and philosophy, veganism. They just happened to like pop into my live stream and be like, "Yo, bro, I'm doing this Men in Black challenge. Do you want to like crush bugs?" And I'm like, "Hey, it just so happens I'm a promortalist and ethilist, so because life sucks, I have no problem in crushing bugs and putting them out of their misery. So it just so happens that it happened to align with my values. It was just pretty much an excuse to crush bugs." So I was like, okay, cool. If you insist. But that's pretty much it. Otherwise, my channel is basically completely about philosophy of ethics and philosophy of mind stuff. So and psychology. I'm kind of a psychopath, and basically just trying to like teach people's ethics. Like from a psychopath's point of view. And I'm pretty much come to the conclusion that of two things. I love it when you crush bugs, even if it's not your love. Thanks, I appreciate that, I guess. I don't know why everybody's so obsessed with people crushing bugs. But nonetheless, if we all hate bugs for some reason in modern society, I will crush bugs for you. Even if it's your passions, the Men in Black series, and mine is ethics. Um, when it comes down to it, yeah, I mean, I think one of two things is the truth. Pain is objectively the only thing that matters, or, or nothing matters whatsoever. And either way, it's pretty fucking horrible and terrifying, and I'm not happy about it. So, a question for people is like, hey, should I drop out of college? Because honestly, my major makes me miserable. I have to take this Spanish class, and I fucking suck at Spanish. Like, I suck at Spanish. Like, Spanish is horrible. Like, I cannot do this shit. It's completely free, so it's not like I've actually paid for college at this point. I mean, besides for textbooks, but I have no problem with that because textbooks are knowledge. So, I mean, hey, if I'm paying for knowledge, it's just what it'd be, I guess, whatever. But I do not care for my degree anymore. There's nothing that's going to be beneficial from me getting a philosophy degree. There's nothing beneficial about getting a philosophy degree. It's philosophy. It's fucking dog shit. It's a bunch of semantics and fucking jarble garble. Blah, 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 blah. Fuck that shit. I'm in community college. I'm done next year. Oh, congratulations, my dude. So am I, basically. I'm literally a junior in college. I'm done in 1 year, and I am just about to drop out of this fucking bitch because I have to take Spanish, and I'm like at the final part of my degree, and I just hate it. There's no point of this shit. It's honestly a waste of my fucking time. I was doing it because it was fun, and that's no longer fun anymore. I was doing it because I was like, why not? Just why not? And now I have a why for the not, and I'm quite literally just like, why stay now? Before it was, why not? Now it's, why the fuck should I stay? I'm sorry you're feeling down about college. No, I'm feeling down about life, but when it comes down to it, yeah, I'm really feeling down about college right now. But yeah, like quite literally, I am like at the brink of just like hating all things. Like life is pretty fucking miserable right now. I'm an ethicist and promortalist. You probably don't know what those terms mean, but that's okay. Most people don't. Promortalism is basically just the idea that mortality is a good thing. Dying is good. The ceasing of existence is a good thing. I'm a promortalist, which you can already imagine if you have the outlook that dying is a good thing. Uh, yeah, because it's ceasing of pain. Going through unnecessary struggles like college, when it's a philosophy major, which is going to get you nothing in life, just so that you can essentially have fun, but now it's no longer fun, and you realize everything's kind of bullshit and semantics. It's just kind of like, why? Why go through this struggle? Why torture myself for no fucking goddamn reason? I'm not much of a philosopher. Yeah, me neither, bro. Me fucking neither. I'm a philosophy major, but me fucking neither at this point. At this point, what it means to be a philosophy major is to be just pretend that Isaac Gap doesn't fucking exist and that nihilists and skeptics don't exist, and or be like a nihilist and a skeptic, and then have everybody wonder why you're such a fucking prick that it actually cares. Like I'm spreading my nihilism, ruin everybody else's day. Why? Because the truth. But yeah, but you don't believe the truth matters. And then they have a little spasm because they're nihilists. The moral of the story is whenever you're in philosophy, life is literal hell. Not a single moment goes by that I don't wish a fucking asteroid would just come through like a satellite or asteroid or some space degree would just come through the fucking roof and just like take my head off like right in the moment, just obliterate all semblance of consciousness known as Brant Gill in the universe. Like Christ. I just don't want to exist, guys. Like Brant Gill is the vessel of pure suffering, and Brant Gill does not want to continue suffering. But the vessel known as Brant Gill that has many variations that exist between at multiple moments because I'm an identity nihilist, constantly just being obliterated over and over and over and over and reborn. Yeah, the vessel we call Brant Gill is just in constant agony and is not fucking doing jack shit to change anything in the world, and I am kind of tired of it. When it comes down to it, I have a duty. Yeah, I have a duty to prevent suffering. Any life I prevent from coming into the world because I convince someone, that's a life saved suffering. Hey, Brant, you're doing the good work. Yay. I fucking hate being alive. Cheers. That. Took a big gulp there. And it burned multiple areas. It burned my throat. And a little bit of it just splashed into my fucking eye. Now it's burning my eye, but I frankly can't care. I frankly do not care. There's more pain on the inside than in my eyeball, so fair enough. May as well fucking just dose all my eye. That's how I see you when you crush bugs. You're saving them from existence. Basically, that's why whenever I'm outside, I always just like fucking crush as many bugs as I can, like without going out of my way, because I frankly just. You know how many bugs there are on the planet, my dude? You know how many bugs there are on the fucking planet? How many ants are in the world? Just ants. Ants. Nothing else. Ants. Do well, how many ants are in the entire world? They estimate that there is 15 to 25% of the Earth's animals' biomass are ants. There are 12,762 species of ants known. And the estimated species is estimated over 22,000. Oh my fucking god. How many ants are there on Earth? Let's take a gander. Oh my fucking god. It's a lot. No shit. 20 trillion. Wait, what? There are about 20 quadrillion ants on Earth. Oh my lord. Yeah, moral of the story is we're not going to be crushing all the ants anytime soon. Uh, the vegans attacked me for killing rats. They said I should catch and release. You know what? Fuck them goddamn pieces of shit. So they're idiots, okay? Anthony Wilson Foreman, okay? They're dumb. They are stupid. I'm drunk right now, but they are ubid stupid. Primordialism, truth. Epicureanism, a truth that has been known for 2,000 fucking years. Catch on, vegans. Death is not bad for the one who dies. It's just a cessation of existence. It's a transition to nothingness. You killing the rat was just the rat no longer having hunger pains, no longer having all these. You cannot deprive a non-existent being of pleasure. Something that doesn't exist cannot be deprived of future sensations. Given identity nihilism, there is no the rat that you killed existed for a single moment. A single moment was that rat existing. Before that knife even entered the rat, as it was entering, the first spark of pain in the rat created a new variation of that rat's identity. And as the sensation progressed, the new rat was born even every moment. Moral of the story is essentially there is no future rat that you're depriving of pleasure or good things by killing them. You're only ceasing their pain, which would be inevitable anyways. And their death would probably be far, far, far worse than however you killed the rat, basically. So, I mean, they're live long enough to become old and weak and no longer able to catch food and die basically slowly from starvation or thirst, or they're gonna die from predation. Some other type of animal is gonna like crush their neck, or if they're fucking lucky, or they're gonna tear them apart slowly like an asshole if it's some like house cat that wants to play with them, because they have plenty of food, so they're just like doing their natural instincts thing and just basically torturing it for like an hour. So, when it comes down to it, nature's a brutal fucking thing. you spared the rat of far, 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 far more suffering than it would have endured in its entire lifespan. So, fuck vegans. I'm a vegan when it comes to practice, but in terms of ideology, I'm just a negative utilitarian. You can call me a vegan. I call myself a vegan. I buy vegan food and only vegan food. But when it comes down to it, that's just because I don't want to be paying for things being brought into existence. I don't care about death. Death is not bad. Death is just ceasing of existence. Same for humans, though obviously laws come into effect and all that other stuff. Depends on your major. If you're not in a STEM program, you should drop out. Yep, I'm in philosophy, so it's basically the most bullshit thing fucking ever, man. It's just semantics. And I go to Catholic college, and I am required to take fucking Spanish, dude. I'm a cultural annihilationist. I basically believe we should all just unite as a human species and become like a globalist thing, annihilate all borders and stuff like that, and just basically just be like, unite under the goal of destroying all animals and wiping out all sentient life and just being like donezo of this fucking shit show of a world. But when it comes down to it, I believe we should all just be united as one species. We should be humanists around the board. We shouldn't care about these borders and languages and cultural diversity and like, ooh, they like dragons in Japan and fireworks in America and the skulls and like Cinco de Mayo and no one gives a fuck. What matters is suffering reduction. So yeah, I mean, like I'm a cultural annihilationist, and they're requiring me to take Spanish. I have not a single passion for foreign language, not one, not I don't care the slightest. You're in the wrong category. You should be in just chatting, not talk shows and podcasts. Oh, I'm sorry, person on Twitch. I will remove my Twitch stream then. Apologies. Yeah, apologies, I guess. Well, technically speaking, talk shows and podcasts. Technically speaking, there is a link if you want to join. If you want to join Diamond Dust, don't have to remove it. Oh, okay, cool. Well, if you want to join Diamond Dust Cube, there is a link to join. If you scroll up to the very top, there's a link for you to join, and then you could be the podcast guest, and you can convince me to stay in college or not. Just chatting is more appropriate. Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah, you're completely right. You're completely right. I'm just giving some shit talk because I'm a narcissist, so I'm not gonna go down without a fight. It's part of my nature. I'm sorry. I will admit it. I'm gonna plug in my fucking laptop though. Christ on a bike. Okay. I'm just gonna unplug that and plug this in and hope that whatever I unplug there is not important. So, anyways, what does it matter to me? Fuck them. Them being my parents, they can figure it out. It's probably like the fucking like something important. In borders, do you have walls in your bedroom? No, I do believe in borders. I just believe in like I don't believe in borders in the sense of like country borders. I believe in borders in the sense of like, we ought to keep people in certain areas so that like income is like, like kind of here's the thing. I'm a globalist in the sense of like if we all work together and we just annihilated all borders, then things would be pretty great, okay? We'd all work together, and as a human species, I think we could probably thrive a lot better than working independently. But, I don't believe in the fact of like open borders in and of itself. Like, if we're the only one with open borders and everybody else around of us has closed borders, you know what that means? That means they're all coming to us. We can't handle that. That'll tank our economy real fucking fast. As Amendum says, we don't want to get dragged down in the dirt. It's just kind of how it is. So I believe in borders in the sense of like, so long as there are borders for a majority, we ought to continue having borders. But when it comes down to it, I believe that if we eradicated all borders and countries and all that to a sense, and just became like negative utilitarians across the board in terms of like philosophy and law, it'd be a lot better basically if we would just be like united as a species under suffering reductionism. A lot better than having all this bullshit capitalism and like fighting over like, like, ooh, we're all better over here than you guys. And we're competing. We made artificial teams and now we compete over economies, and then we compete inside of our economies, and then we can compete inside of the cities and states of inside of our economy. It's just a dumb competition scheme to be like, oh well, if we constantly competing, then things get better, right? Ooh, yeah. Innovation. Ooh, what is innovation good for? It's good for the rich people getting richer. Oh, a nationalist. I'm against globalism. Oh, well, fair enough. I mean, you might have to make a few videos on that, or try to convince me, I guess, why are you a nationalist? I mean, I personally don't think there's anything good about America, other than the fact that we have like, I guess, kind of freedom of speech. We don't have like the best freedom of speech in the world, but we have like decent freedom of speech. If you think we have perfect freedom of speech, you're fucking wrong. Before Palestine got into the mainstream, if you were a supporter of Palestine, you would be denied health care from government programs if you're a teacher and other such things. So, moral of the story is, we're not freedom of speech here. Palestine is a country in the Middle East that's at war with fucking Jerusalem or some bullshit. Fucking Israel or whatever the hell it is. Israel, I don't fucking know. Basically, moral of the story is like, the Palestinians are fighting these Jewish folk, and the Jewish folk are fighting the Palestinians, and the Jewish folk have a ton of fucking military power because the United States is like, hey, here's military equipment, homies, and they're complaining a fuck ton of war crimes on the Palestinian people, and the Palestinian people are just like, I guess we'll die. And yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, yeah, ripperoni, the world kind of fucking sucks. I'm drunk. But yeah, I'm against states, but I support nations. Nations are voluntary associations. States are coercive. No, that's fair, I suppose. I'm against states, but I support nations. I mean, I think I know what you mean. Hmm. But what's the difference between nation and globalism? Like, why would you be? I mean, do you think there's an objective right and wrong, or no? Like, if you think there is an objective right and wrong, do you not think it would be better for like there to be a universal law, like kind of like imagine like a universal dictator, like a philosopher king, but instead of there actually being an individual, it's more of like a philosophy of sorts, being like the law of the world slash law of the land. Like that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, like there's a philosophy, and then there's like a different forms of judges from different nations, quote unquote, which these nations are essentially just factions of a global alliance, basically, which would have like open borders, we can cross between each other and all that. Well, they're based on like locational based areas to represent populations, and essentially they would just like vote upon the interpretations of, say, negative utilitarianism within like a council type of thing. But and there would be some level of democracy, but very, very little. It would come pretty much down to just like, it has to like, it's democracy that falls within like the debate of negative utilitarianism or something like that. That's basically what I would be in favor of in terms of like policy. I don't really see the benefit of having nations involve themselves because I'm an objective, because I believe in objective morality. I don't really see the benefit in just being like, oh, well, individualism. We can all like vote for this guy or that guy. No, it's just like, no, one of those guys is objectively correct. Anyone can form a nation. Antinatalists can form a nation. Black people can form a nation. Women can form a nation. Interesting. Okay. Huh. Now I need to look up the definition of nation. Bing boom. A large body of people united by common descent, history, culture, language, inhabiting a particular country or territory. I'm guessing you're basically just subtracting the last line, having a particular country or territory, unless like you mean like just like they're all generally located together, and that would be like so like a large body of people united under a certain ideology, aka antinatalism, located within the United States. So like United States antinatalists would be the nation of their own, while Brazilian antinatalists or Brazilian nationalists or Brazilian whatever fucking neo Nazis. I don't know. Anything, insert literally any ideology or belief system would be their own nation so long as it's pertaining to a specific area. Is that kind of what you're talking about? It can be a community. That's statism, not nationalism. It can be a community. Okay. Hmm. I'm fuzzled. I'm also drunk as shit. When it comes down to it, it can be a community. So it's just like, do you mean like a community is in like spread out community is in like a global community, or like it has to be like a localized like community is in like a population of like a city, for example? Or do you mean like the antinatalists on a whole could be like a nation of sorts as the community united under an ideology? I think that's a good way of framing that. I just kind of shot that out of my brain. So didn't really think. I'm kind of drunk, so what? What's your favorite Oot Oot Adderall pocket monster? The Pokekipple? What's your favorite type of smoke? In terms of I like cannabis. In terms of cannabis, my favorite stream is Northern Lights. Northern Lights is the bomb diggity. In terms of vape, I kind of just switch it up. I basically like whenever I go into the vape shop, I'm just like, oh, that sounds good, I guess. And then if it's good, I'm like, yay. And if it's bad, I'm like, I hate myself. Why did I chew this? And then I just like vape the whole thing until I suffer for like a month or two. So stoicism, you gotta. Unless you're talking about like campfire smoke, I like campfire smoke. It's quite nice smelling. I mean, like I don't know what you mean, but what's your favorite type of smoke? Like cigarettes, then I guess I would say American Eagle Yellows. I haven't smoked American Eagle Yellows in 2 years, but American Eagle Yellows is the answer for favorite cigarette. Though I really haven't tried many cigarettes, so I really don't know. I just like American Eagle because it sounds very patriotic and it's basically has like an environmental little like packages every once in a while. So I was like, oh look at that, it's Wholesome 100. They're trying to care about the environment. Ooh. Google nation versus state. A nation can have geographic boundaries, but it's not required. The main thing is that it's a voluntary association. Okay, I got you. Um, hmm, a voluntary association. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of a, huh. I've always been a consequentialist, so I've always kind of, in a way, been like I've kind of always struggled with democracy and authoritarianism, because authoritarianism never fucking works out in practice because authoritarianism typically just power corrupts. Power corrupts. People are pieces of shit. So you need to have some type of like democracy. So it's basically, as you said, a group of people united under an association that they care about. That's cool. It's great. But what's even better is, as Socrates says, the philosopher king, like a dude that's perfect, just the ultimate negative utilitarian and or antinatalist or whatever you believe in. Pretend that I'm an anarchist. That's why I support nations, not states. Yeah, exactly. Imagine an anarchist being in charge of like the country and just being like, hey man, we need a law in quotation marks to make sure that there is no law. So basically, like having like that guy being like, we're establishing borders, we're having a semi form of like military community just to like enforce the borders, but that's it. And outside of the borders, it's literally just enforced by the people as rule or something like that. Um, Basically, like a philosopher king is the ideal thing in my opinion. A philosopher king dictates all. But then again, I'm not sure if you're a moral objectivist or if you're a moral subjectivist. Or I know a lot of anarchists are moral subjectivists and basically believes that like you create what is right and wrong in your own mind, and you're supposed to basically just do whatever you believe is correct. Uh, I think that's bullshit. There's plenty of people who are like anti-vaccine and stuff, and I'm just like, hey, Mr. Anti-vaccine person, come over here so your face can meet my fist. And I just like want to like teach them the way, you know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, there's plenty of people in the world who I think objectively are wrong in regards to what's best for themselves and the world. So I'm not an anarchist. I think we need a form of authoritarian state of some sort to like dictate what is good or bad for people to do. The Supreme Court acts as philosopher kings. In a way, the Supreme Court and Congress act as like those sort of things, but the Supreme Court's full of a bunch of conservative shitheads, so they're definitely not philosopher kings. They're barely philosophers, and they're definitely not kings. They're a fucking council of old people that don't have backward ass views. Do you support forcing people to get vaccinated? Not necessarily, because I believe that would hurt utility. I have no problem with death, as I said. So basically, when it comes down to it, I think whatever creates death isn't bad for the ones who die. Okay, so people die from like say a disease like COVID. No problems with that. What I have problems with is the suffering, so the prolonged suffering and all that stuff. When it comes, so I think people have like to be decent citizens of your country, you should get vaccinated to prevent the spread of the disease. So if you want to be a good moral agent, you should get vaccinated. If you want to be, you have an obligation to get vaccinated, basically, so long as the vaccine reasonably will work. If the vaccine will work, you have an obligation to get vaccinated. But that being said, in order to prevent panic and maximize utility, the obligation of forcing people to get vaccinated in at least modern society would not be very cool. It would not be good. It would not work. It would cause a lot more pain, suffering, panic, violence, all that stuff. 200 years from now, like say 99% of people on the planet are like, oh yeah, vaccines 100%. We understand how those work. They've been mastered at this point. Like, we can basically prevent any disease. Yeah, if that's at that point and there's just like some fringe fucking like Islamic folk or like extreme radical Christians or radical like I don't know, literally any religion of some sort, and they're just like, oh my goodness, we cannot interfere with our bodies. Then I say, yeah, fuck them. They're a minority of people. They're not going to be allowed to impose on their children or harm themselves from a utilitarian standpoint unnecessarily when they can just get a little jab and fucking cry for a few hours and be done with it, and then be completely fine. No, yeah, I know COVID was completely bullshit. That's why I said if the vaccine is valid, because the COVID vaccine was pretty bullshit. I got vaccinated only once, and the only reason I got vaccinated was because it was required for school, and I'm a psychopath, so I don't care. I have no principles really outside of ethics, so it's like, okay, you want me to get a jab to go to school? Sure, I'll get a jab to go to school. And so basically, that's what happened. I got the vaccine, but otherwise, I wasn't going to get the vaccine because I thought, like, this is completely exaggerated. It's basically a fucking common cold. It has no real effect on people who are young. There's no reason why I should get the vaccine. If anything, it's better for me to get sick and then build an immunity of it because it helps my future immune system and such and such. So when it comes down to it, I had like literally no reason to get the vaccine besides the fact that they were like, you're obligated to get the vaccine, especially given I'm a pro-mortalist and all that stuff. But I was pretty much just like, fine. As a citizen, being responsible, and given that it's required for the school, I will do it. Basically. But otherwise, yeah, it's like I knew the vaccine was pretty much bullshit, and I knew that it really was like not necessary to get. The main mistake the CDC made was its claim that COVID can remain on surface for 72 hours. That was a complete lie. Viruses can only survive outside a host for a few seconds. Interesting. I did not actually know that. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that. I mean, interesting. Weird. Virus community services for all. I mean, I guess it's not that weird. I mean, viruses are like a lot smaller than us and shit. So why should I assume they can survive a long period of time? Their perspective of time and how fast to replicate and do all that stuff is a lot different. Given that there's literal cells multiplying in my body at all points, and I just don't feel it, or I'm not aware. There's basically new lives being formed and dying on a microscopic level all over my body. Why should I assume that viruses can only can survive days instead of just a few seconds? I wouldn't be surprised. Let's look that up. How long can a virus survive without a host? I love how it basically has the second article is how long can COVID survive on a surface, because it's just like, oh god, they're trying to figure it out. What the fuck is this bullshit? I don't know. Are you sure that it can only survive? It was a mistake. It was a lie. Okay, fair enough. I mean, I feel like we've found. I guess maybe it's just bacteria. I'm not sure. I don't think we've. Maybe we've never found viruses that are living inside of like ice samples or anything like that. Maybe they're just dead. Like similar vaccines, how you can like inject a dead virus into someone. You can inject a dead. Uh, dead viruses can be found in like icebergs or whatever the fuck. I don't know, like carbon core samples or whatever the fuck. Interesting. I didn't know that about viruses. Cool. Thank you. I appreciate the information update. But either way, yeah, when it comes down to They are no longer active. Yeah, okay. Okay, so when we find samples of ancient viruses, they're just already dead, but they're no longer active. Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, I think, yeah, if there's a vaccine of a serious illness that we know has a pretty high lethality rate, unlike COVID, which was not very high, especially for young people. Um, do I believe we have an obligation in those cases to prevent death? Here's the thing, I'm a consequentialist, so it gets really complicated really goddamn fast. In current society, fuck people. People are pieces of fucking shit. People are fucking consumers. All we do is cause pain. We're basically just fucking assholes, okay? Every person that dies is suffering prevented. Ah, fucking men. So I hope the goddamn viruses take all these motherfuckers out. But in an ideal world full of antinatalists and ethalists and negative utilitarians who are trying to prevent suffering and cleanse the world of all this horrible nature stuff, yes, we'd have an obligation to get vaccinated because every person who's an antinatalist and ethicalist is valid. You know, we have an obligation to be alive to prevent animal suffering. The question is who decides? Me, I decide, because I'm basically God. No, I'm kidding. But when it comes down to it, yeah, who decides? Me, slash, all of us, slash, experience decides. Experience decides, basically, my dude. Experience generates value, and experience, basically dictates that, hey, pain really ouchy, pain not good. Pleasure, probably an illusion for the most part, and basically just relief sensations. Um, is it worth to propagate an illusion for something that's objectively bad, like pain? Probably not. Probably not. No, 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 I don't think so. So, basic what decides is just kind of like common sense, I guess. But that's basically what I would answer. Is just comment. Someone left, and I have a feeling it was Anthony Listen for me. He was tired of my attitude. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be a dickhead. I mean, I am a dickhead, and I'm drunk. So I mean, it's just kind of how it is. I'm a piece of shit. So the question is, who decides? Uh, Not me, I guess. Apparently, because people don't take me serious. Oh, still here? Cool. Someone else left then. I guess someone else didn't care for my attitude. Okay. I'm a piece of shit, though, for the record, so that doesn't change, even though you're still here. Even though I didn't chase you off by being a dickhead, I'm still an asshole. It doesn't change regardless. But, the question is who decides? Yeah, I guess it's just experience generates value, in my opinion. So it's just like the heights of pain are more intense than the heights of pleasure. The duration of pain is more long than the duration of pleasure. All that type of stuff. So it's just like in general, pain has like way more quantity and way more intensity than pleasure does. And when it comes down to the general human experience, we believe we have obligations to prevent pain, but not obligations to promote pleasure, basically. That seems to be a universal value of people who aren't, who are neurotypical or neurotypical-ish. Um, so it seems to be an evolutionary such biological factor as well as just common, like the nature of pain and pleasure, that pain objectively has more value than pleasure does. So I guess like who decides? It's less who decides and what decides, and I think what decides is the pain, the experience. I hope that answers your question. I don't know if it does or not, but either way, I'm taking a swig. Fuck. The individual should decide. The majority shouldn't be allowed to trample over the rights of others. I mean, I think I agree if it comes down to like the majority's subjective opinion. Yes. But when it comes down to it, I think there's like an objective reality of like if you're logically and fully informed, you'll realize that like there's no reason to experience pleasure for like, a future self. You're not depriving a future self of pleasure by not experiencing it. But you are like inflicting pain upon a future self by continuing existence. So like to me it just seems like an imposition of unnecessary suffering upon future individuals, individuals being like your future self. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, individuals should decide the majority shouldn't be allowed to trample over the rights of others. I mean, in a way, and from a very, perhaps I'm just playing language games when I say this, but given identity nihilism, the majority is the existing people that are existing now, and given that none of the future beings exist, they're the minority, the non-existent ones, the zero number essentially. So we're basically trampling over the rights to not have unnecessary suffering of future generations by continuing existence, given identity nihilism. So basically, in my opinion, like pain objectively has value, and we're objectively just imposing on future versions of ourselves unnecessarily. I didn't want to get vaccinated. Fortunately, I didn't give. Fortunately, I didn't give in to the majority. Hey, good for you, my dude. I'm glad you didn't get vaccinated. There's no reason to. I mean, not really. I'm glad. I'm not glad you get vaccinated. I'm pretty much neutral. I kind of lied there when I said that, but good for you for being happy you didn't get vaccinated. I'm glad you're happy. But yeah, when it comes down to it, I don't see any reason to get vaccinated or not get vaccinated. I mean, when I got vaccinated, I think I got a little sick afterwards or whatever, but that's just kind of the process of getting vaccinated. And you get a little sick and then you're fine. But yeah, it's just like, I mean, there was really not much of a problem in terms of that in comparison to like, I don't know, getting actually sick. So if you never got COVID, then props to you. No reason to get vaccinated if you weren't gonna if you never got COVID. So now he's gone. I'm pretty sure. Okay.